Campus Wise with a banger by the beautiful lady that I love so much. Yo, guys, this woman, she loves dancing. There's a thing about dancing. What's about Jaiva? It's like you get to be freed. Or somewhere like never. What's about never? So dancing is just like that, guys. I'm talking from experience. It's nice, it's fulfilling, it's all those things. So that's Prince KB featuring Busi Swa Banomona Banamon. And then, like I said, we're going to be having Campus Focus right here on Campus Wise, whereby we give you an update on what is happening right here in the university. So now we're going to be talking to a gentleman by the name of Tendani, and he's going to be giving us the insights of what is happening. To be specific, the applications, because most people have applied to study with the university, but then, hey, the applications they are being delayed, and the registrations are going to be closing by the end of this week. Tendani, welcome in studio.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
How are you, Tendani?
I'm very well, thanks. And how are you?
Guys, Tendani speaks like a politician. He is a politician by the looks of things. So, am I right or am I right?
No, he's very intimidating, isn't it?
Yes.
When he speaks, like, don't you want to listen?
Oh, Nelson Mandela.
He's got so, yeah, I think this is the man that, like yesterday we were talking about surrounding yourself with the right people. If we need information, I think this is the right man that we want to surround. Because we asked him, okay, I'm gonna give this away. When we walked in the studio, we asked him, so what is it that you would like us to talk about, to touch on? And he says everything. We're gonna cover everything. This man has got around point. So guys, do stay tuned. There's a lot you're gonna learn. There's a lot.
So Tendani, can you please just reintroduce yourself to our listeners?
Okay, thank you very much for the kind opportunity for summoning us to in your studios, and we have made it due to the summon. My name is Tendani Rikho Musekwa. I'm the deputy chairperson of SASCO-Unisa sunny side. Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us, Tendani. Can you please just give us an update on what is really happening, to the specific the applications? What are happening with this application?
We're swimming in a pool of conundrums. Us as student leaders, before we are student leaders, we are first members of the community, which I believe that before I had my first interview with this particular radio station, it was last week, Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
It was during the week, or was it with the same show?
Yes, with the same show.
It was during the week.
It was. Yes. I was listening to your show whereby parents have been complaining that the online system of application in high schools is not working for them. And even here at UNISA, we're having a problem. Now, we have a issue of application enrollments that are taking place now as we speak. What we can say about that, the university has opened a can of worms, if one should put it like that. We are having students who are applying on a consistent daily basis as the application started opening, but those students are not being attended to. And one should put this focus on the fee that is being paid to the university, because I believe that the university is stealing money from the poor, the money that is not available at their disposal at the current moment. We're having a fee of 115 rand, which students continuously pay. Exactly. And students are being rejected. And it comes to our attention to question, where does that money go? What does the university do with that money? Because we are having students of NSFAS who are having outstanding debt, which we have set in a meeting with the management. We have tried to resolve that, but we came with a temporary solution.
Okay, Tendani, before we go to NSFAS, can we please just focus on this application thing? What's really the problem there? Because now they keep on taking applications, but then now for them to respond, it takes long, and then you go there, they tell you, you know what, it's outstanding. What's this?
They say your application has been referred for enrollment.
So what's the meaning of that?
When they say it has been referred for enrollment, it means that it is still in the process of being approved. But we know that it is just a status.
Until when? Because now the registration are going to be closing.
That is the problem we're having. Look, For instance, we're having students who have applied a long time ago on the first day of application. Even now, the application has been referred for enrollment. And what pains us the most as a student activist and those and us who are in the system, we're having a problem. We're having students who are doing higher certificate in law. We're having students who are doing higher certificate in education. Those are students who are in the system, and they are one of the students that we are not willing to compromise. And the university has just abandoned them as if they were never in the system. They are not giving them offers. We have said to the management must take it into confidence and into cognizance that those students who have been in the system, they must be given an offer automatically to study to further their studies in that particular college. But the university has been undermining us when it comes to that particular resolution.
Is there any solution that is coming up with this application thing? Because people have been complaining about this application thing for quite some times now. Since last year, that's when I started seeing it on the socials that people have been applied. And then my question again is, do you apply, maybe you applied for this semester and then they don't get to take your application, it's still in process. For the next semester you must apply again.
Yes, for the next semester you must apply again. And they come with this funny theory of saying they've put students in the waiting list.
Waiting list how?
I fail to understand when they explain, because they're vagorious in their approach.
And the registrations are going to be closing.
Exactly. The application, the registration is closing on the 25th, if I'm not mistaken. And the last day of payment is the 31st. And we have resoluted yesterday in our meeting as SASCO, as I have said, that we are a movement that does not believe in magic that cannot be done, but we believe in magic that can be done. As one of our prominent leaders says to us that it is law of life that each and every problem therefore becomes a solution. So we are ready. We are more than ready to hit the ground running.
So that's your solution?
Our solution is that we have resoluted with the management. The management is just dilly-dallying around issues. They have tried to shift our focus, and we know that very well. They have ensured that we continue with registration while applications are on hold.
I fail to understand this. Okay, talking about registrations, how are they going? People are registering, they're still registering, and they're going.
People who have been sent offers, people who have returning students, those people are registering.
But then the new applicants?
The new applicants, it's where we're having a problem.
Why?
That is why we're saying that the university is coming with a tactic of ensuring that they leave a black student behind and outside the system, which is one of the things that we're not going to allow, not in our existence.
Yeah, it's too deep. Okay, now moving on to the NFSAS, I've seen people are getting happier and happier with the NFSAS. How is it going with it?
On the issues of NSFAS, we can say that there's a slow pace in it. We are having returning students who are not even paid for. Up to this day, they're not registered. And we must understand, some of us, as we open our study guides, we are people who take each and every word written into cognizance and into confidence. The study guide permits a student in the University of South Africa to have 15 study weeks. And we're not having that. We're not having that at all. The university delays us again. And that ensures a failure for a black child. We can't be having people who are writing study guides and saying that we must have 15 weeks of study while we don't have them, while we fail. We are going to be excluded. That is the reality of the nature.
I understand that they are writing all the study guides and then they're having, we need to have 15 days of studying. But if we're not having it, what are they doing about that? What are they doing? Are they bettering this situation, or it's worsening?
The situation is worsening. As I have said before, that a university has opened a can of worms where they can't control it anymore. It's out of their control. There are members of the community. They are members of a committee, like Alan Fred says it.
Yes.
That is elected by the unwilling to do the unnecessary, and together believe that nothing can be done. Look, on the issue of 15 study weeks, we are having an issue of NSFAS students who are not yet registered up to this day. Even now, you can be rest assured.
That thing of the students who haven't, like, their fees for last year, they haven't been paid. Is it being resolved?
As I have said, that as the movement, we have said and became realistic to say this might be, but we don't believe that it's a permanent solution. It's a temporary solution. We're still working on the ground. We're still combining ideas.
What's the temporary solution?
The resolution is such that those students who are having outstanding due to two allowances that they've received undeservingly, we understand that it was undeservingly, but it was the mistake of the university to do that, because the system of the university has never, and I don't believe that it will ever, provide for a student to get two allowances. It's either you receive a laptop. If you don't receive a laptop, you receive book allowance. So there's a debt. There's an outstanding debt. We had agreed with the management that they must allow students to register in the meantime, and they will forfeit what we call the allowance for the year. But as we have been searching and...
Oh, are you talking about the students who received both the laptop and the allowance?
Yes, those are the ones who are having outstanding fees.
Oh, those are the very ones. I thought maybe it's other students who are innocent.
No. Yes, they are innocent. They are very innocent, by the way. They are very innocent, don't be mistaken.
It has said like before that you have a choice of taking the allowance or the laptop, but then we just continued and taking the laptop, and even the money when it's coming, you just take it.
Yes, it is not your fault. It cannot be your fault.
But then how is it not your fault? You don't think about your academics, or when if you get the laptop and then the money says here, what about the future? What about tomorrow?
How does it become your fault because you are given one option to choose and you have chosen, and then you are given another one? As a student, you never think of such.
But then remember,
because the choice is only one. How do you put the blame on the student? We are having a maladministration in the University of South Africa.
Remember now, all these things are being operated by humans, and humans,
exactly,
they do mistakes. So when, as a student that cares about your academics, and you need to recheck, if you see the monies that are being sent to you and you know you have received the laptop, yes,
you are very much correct. Yes. You are very much correct. Let me clarify you before you can even make mistakes going further. The system is being operated by a human being. A human being has made a mistake. That particular human being must take a fall for it, not a student. A student has never chosen to allowance.
The student is not taking a fall for it, but then the student must communicate. Communication is very essential.
If you can remember,
just let someone know.
If you can remember, there was a student who was given approximately...
I remember that one.
Yeah, that particular huge amount.
If I was a student, I was gonna run.
It was never the fault of the student. It was the fault of someone who was trying to steal the money from the NSFAS board. Same applies to this. You must question yourself even now. Why is it that applications of NSFAS are no longer finalized in UNISA Sunnyside campus?
But still, as a student, where now you're looking after yourself, remember, you are still on your first level. There's still a second level. There's still a third level. Don't you think that might affect you in the future?
Look.
So you just
let us take you back, because we are people of authoritative sources. We will take you back to a march that was done by the National SRC and ourselves combined. We went to DHED, Department of Higher Education, to fight for what we call equality rights in terms of Section 9 of the Constitution. We were given an excuse that we are in ODL, which is why we cannot be given equal allowance to those other universities that are full-time.
Okay, so when you say equal rights in terms of different allowances?
No, this is what's happening. We're in a democratic state, as much as we know. We're all university students who are studying so hard to enable their futures. What we were fighting for is that we cannot be discriminated against because of the nature of our university. We understand that yes, discrimination, it is acceptable if it's fair, but we do not see fairness in it.
But how are you discriminated?
How are we discriminated?
How are we discriminated? This is what's happening. We are having students who are coming from far. We are having students from Venda, we're having students from Eastern Cape, we're having students from across the country. Those students are coming to study here at UNISA. We must understand they're coming to Sunnyside in particular because they want to access main campus. They want to interact and interface with their lectures, and we must understand that where they are, as I stipulate to most of people that argue with me when it comes to the ANC, I'm sorry to take it to the heavier badge. That I cannot speak on behalf, but I have a say in it since I'm a participant in it. What's happening is that I say to people that when people criticize the ANC for all the years, they say 26 years into democracy, but you have not done nothing. The ANC has done a lot. It's just that we are not a yet developed country. We are a developing country. Look, as I came to this interview, I said first that there were parents that were complaining about let me call it the implementation of the fourth industrial revolution. There are communities that have not even adjusted yet to the third industrial revolution, but we are going to the fourth industrial revolution. Look, in most people who are coming from afar, there is no network. They're staying in the deep rural areas. They want to come and study here. They need accommodation. They need food allowance. They need transport allowance. But we've been discriminated.
Okay. So are you guys fighting for accommodation?
Yes, remember the other universities, they get all those allowances and everything.
Accommodation allowances.
Exactly.
Well, it sounds like a fair
But
enough.
I think there's that option.
Yeah.
There is that option online on NEFSAS, but you make like
Can I
let me clarify once again. This is what happens when you are a UNISA beneficiary benefiting under the NSFAS. The NSFAS does not provide for food allowance. The NSFAS does not provide for accommodation to UNISA students. It does not do that.
Okay.
So that's the discrimination we're fighting against. And whomever who's sitting in that NSFAS board, I believe that he must buy Air Force, because soon enough we're going to revolt and we're going to take revolutionary measures.
The thing is,
what are these revolutionary measures? Oh, I like you. Interesting. Tell me more.
The thing is, the students who are coming all the way from KZN, Venda and everything, when they travel all the way coming here, that means they're gonna be full-time students. Even that is not offered at UNISA, but they're daily gonna go to the university and require all those benefits.
Indeed, you are correct.
Yes.
I will quote the chairperson, the current chairperson of the ANC Youth League, and the Secretary General of this particular university, when he says that gone are those days where UNISA used to be a retirement home, where you would only find pensioners coming back to UNISA to study further. We're having AMA 2000. We're having AMA 2002. Next year we'll be having AMA 2003. So they need to be on campus on a consistent daily basis. So we're in transformation.
Yes,
we must agree.
UNISA is also part of that fourth industrial revolution.
Indeed.
It's also revolting.
Even the UNISA radio as well is transforming from talk radio station to one that appeals to the younger listener.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for fighting for our rights.
Those are our fundamental pillars. A black child will never be outside the system, not when we are still existing in the institutes of higher learning. We have courses in high schools that is ensuring that students pass. As you can see, the matric pass rate in high schools, it's all the work of COSAS. COSAS has done its duties. As SASCO in the Institutes of Higher Learning, we advocate for the rights of students. We will ensure that students are in the system no matter what it takes. We have seen that the campus have been militarized. We must agree on that. We're having MI7 soldiers who are having guns, and those guns are filled with life
ammunition.
Exactly.
I saw them
You know
yesterday
what?
and I was.
I also
Yeah.
saw them. Tendani, we are about to go and take our headlines, but before we do that, I just want you to wrap it up for us, because now these students, they are listening right now and they are looking for answers and solutions. Maybe you have even if you don't have solutions for them, but then maybe you have a connection to their solution. Where can maybe come and see you guys, or maybe when they need assistance of some sort, where can they find you guys?
We are all over the country. We are in each and every campus. We are in each and every university. Wherever you find, mostly we are in the gates of the university,
At the
doing
gate.
our campaign, which we do it every day, but it's just that in the period of registration, period of applications, we need to be on the ground assisting students, ensuring that they are in the campus. We are doing
So
what
they
we
can
call
come
a
to
right to
you-
learn campaign. Yes,
They
yes.
can come to you with
SASCO
with
all the
every
way.
issue.
Yes, PYA all the way. We are there.
All right, okay. Thank you so much, Tendani, for giving us an update, especially on the application and everything. But then I believe the university on its own is looking into this matter, and they're gonna be resolved.
It has been. It has been. It is
But then
not.
with your
It is not taking us
assistance-
serious.
With your assistance, there's gonna be solutions.
No, we believe we're intellectuals. If the
Yes,
university
yes.
is failing to get solutions, we'll give them solutions. We are more than happy to do
My
that.
point exactly. You need to assist them. We work together.
Yes, that's why we have a SRC. That's why we have a national SRC. That's why we have SASCO. SASCO will remain the vanguard of students in the issues of learning.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tendani.
Thank you very much for your time.